Hey there, how's everybody doing? Today is March the 4th, and it's a beautiful day on the charts. Let's get to it. We are looking here at the NASDAQ 2 minute futures chart. This is the E-mini NQ. Okay, so I'm using the Heikin-Ashi candle. So today was like really nice. A little wicky in the morning, but overall it turned out pretty good, and I'll explain why as the day progressed. So, right before the New York Open, which is this green band right in here, the green vertical bar right in here, we had, I'm always looking out for divergences, so right in here you had this really nice drop in here that came right back up, and this side pretty much looks symmetrical to what was to come. But by making this V and coming back up, this would just be a really nice two peak type of a divergence in here, and you can really see it as well. So right through here, this side of the peak is a lower low, and this one's making a higher high right over here. So we want to find the opposite of what's happening on the oscillators. So I already have the TTM, showing it's making a higher high over here, and you can even see it on the TSI, and also we have equal highs on the UO right there. So we have three sets of confirmation here. And when I do see the Oracle, the trading Oracle signal, that's my Q, and you can take a nice trade, on here for some points. You have some market structure down in here, and you have more market structure in here. So exiting your trade just depends on your trading plan. So you can do something like this if you wanted to. Okay, but the really cool thing about what's happening next, right before the New York Open here, is that my EMAs, they're going into this transitional stage right here. So price right here was coming up, it's flattening out a little bit right here, and right here at this very spot right here, you can really see them making that nice crossover, all of them right here, and then you start to fan out. Okay, and when I see that, then you know start getting a little excited here, because what happens next is, price comes down and actually respected this level of price right beforehand, and you will get that nice pullback right in here. And you see how the wick just touches the EMAs right in here, and you will more, there will be a higher probability of seeing this pullback right after the EMAs cross over right in here. So the next thing you'd want to do is when you see um, either a trading oracle signal or a nice, a bearish candle, then you can just take this trade, and that leads right into the New York Open. So you can even stop right before the open. I know a lot of people don't like to trade the open. It's a little volatile, and I understand, I get it. But we had a really nice sequence in here by having VWAP on top, and here's my 200 EMA cloud, and then the red, orange, and teal. These EMAs are all fanned out. This is a beautiful sequence, and this alone is a nice little strategy to take just as well. And price was just going down on here, and you could have gotten some really nice points if you decided to stay into the open. If you were entering right in here, your stop loss would have been actually right above these highs right in here. These couple little dojis right in here, and you can clearly see the nice drop coming in. So what happens next? Okay, so price comes down, and I have a midline right in here. I have my pivots, and I draw these midlines manually. So throughout the day, as you can see, price just really respected this midline. This was becoming a key level. Okay, and the really cool thing also is VWAP and the 200 EMA pretty much stayed on top of price or close to the top of price. So I know with that, it creates like a nice little back and forth. Okay, so just looking out for divergences as the day goes. The EMAs are spreading out. The um, uh, market price action right here is moving down, and it just keeps retesting one right after the other. And then finally, we get the trading oracle signal. Okay, and the really nice thing that you can do is you can set alerts on these trading oracle signals, as buy and sells. And whenever it prompts your phone, or if you're on your computer, it'll make like a little sound, and you can check to see if there's a divergence in play. So, and that's basically the best way to go about this, and you can clearly see it that there is a nice bullish divergence right in here, and it's pretty prominent on the TSI and also right on the TTM squeeze right through here. So you can take this and gain some nice points in here. Okay, so pretty much you would have had about 25 points in here, which is equivalent. One contract on NQ is about 500. It is $500 for 25 points. So, and that would have been a nice little trade, just about 6 minutes into the trade here. So we do have VWAP on here, and we do have the cloud. So you can see price respecting these levels in here. So here price is starting to move down. And, once again, I'm trying to see if I will spot some sort of a divergence. For me, it's all about the cycle. This is one cycle down here. This is how I gauge my entry, and then I'm in the trade, and then, you have your exit strategy, and then the cycle begins all over again. Okay. You look to your left for some clues, and you try to see where you can, get a divergence off of here. So I'm going to go on to these highs right in here, and you can see price is coming down, making a lower high right in here. And then I'm looking at the opposite on my oscillators in here, and then you can really see how the oscillators are making higher highs in here. So it's, once again, you have confirmation, 3 confirmations. Even though you need 1, you got 3. And what I'll do next is I'm just going to wait until I find a trading oracle signal and enter my trade. Sometimes you will get into situations like this where you will have, one will show up and then another will show up. It's okay. I would have, gotten in right in here, and, my stop loss would have been above these wicks right in here. So I would have been saved. I know this was a little too close for comfort on this wick, but the really cool thing about this is it's a slingshot golden signal. So I know when I see the slingshot, especially, price tends to, move down a little bit, further out. And that's exactly what was happening in this case. And then we had our other slingshot, signal coming through in here too. So, and a good place to exit this trade would have been right at this midline, because you had a series of, rejections, earlier in the morning. And here it is happening again 2 hours after the New York session had opened. So the cycle just continues right again. Now remember, you don't have to take every trade that you see, every signal that comes through. Make sure it's it meets your criteria on whatever strategy you're taking. Make sure that these signals kind of blend in with your trading strategy. Okay, so something like this for me, I would almost prefer um, to have a signal a little bit closer to the bottom, but sometimes you just can't help it, and depending on your sensitivity level of the trading oracle signal, um, that's where they're placed. Today I am using a 176. Okay, and that I thought was just doing a little bit of back testing. I switch between 85 and 176 a lot. So, 85 was, had like too many signals in here. But even throughout the day, even over the weekend, rather, I was just trying out the 176 and was looking pretty good. So coming in through here, price is just moving up, and you don't have to take like every little move, as I was saying earlier. So up here we have two peaks up here. So I'm really liking the two peak divergences versus a single peak divergence, and that's meaning you get this like double peak right in here, and if you can get a divergence off of that, I feel that it just really takes on and holds to the divergence trade, sometimes a little bit better than if it was a single peak divergence. So um, these double peak divergences or twin peak divergences, they do happen daily on the market, so be on a lookout. And then same thing for below. If you have like a double valley, try to find those too, and take on those little trades. So right in here, what do we have? Okay, I'll just make my mark in here, and I'm going to remove this not to get too confusing. So the ultimate oscillator signal, it's all going the same way, even on the TSI is the same way, but on the TTM squeeze, we are getting equal highs, and that's giving me confirmation for a divergence. And I am going to take and wait for the trading oracle signal. And here we have another slingshot signal right in here. And you can take this on, and you can see it goes right back down to this major midline section in here. So that would have been a really nice trade to take, and you could have 17 points. So this is just right over $340 right in here. So I mean, this is like a range right in here. So the range, it's not too narrow, but it's high enough where you can get some pretty good points in here. Okay, so coming in here, what's really cool is I automatic, as soon as I get this valley right in here, I can already see the divergence trade forming to the top side. So I really love the bullish divergences. It's one of my favorite trade setups. So, and I really don't know why, but I've just, maybe it was just something that I learned first. I don't remember, but we have our oscillators here to give us some confirmation, and price here is coming down. So I would wait for my trading oracle signal right in here and take on the trade. Now, your stop loss, I mean, your trade's up here and your stop loss would be down here. So that's a pretty big risk type of an area in here. So what I would do is I would just bring this up a little bit, maybe even like the midline, or just like this one candle below the midline, and let price carry that through up until where your trading plan says to exit. Here we have market structure to the left, so this would have been a great spot to exit. and around 130, price just really shot up. I don't know if this was news that made this, possibly. I'm not really sure, but price just really shot up right through here. And where did it go? It went to a minor midline, and you can see it rejecting 3 times right through here. Okay, so this was like a triple peak divergence in here. Okay, so right in here we have our other trading oracle signal, and you can just take this right back down, and the range is still going on, especially when you have VWAP, which is this purple line and going across. It's just really horizontal, so it's cutting right through price, and that's how you can tell that price has been going into a range. And the EMAs are, they're all showing, bearish bias in here, but they're a little bit more horizontal than what I would have liked. But the really cool thing is they maintained that sequence throughout, which was really nice. It was a really nice way to look at that and, make decisions along the way. So right through here, we had some really strong bullish movement. Price went right to the midline, the major midline right here, and then rejected right to VWAP in here, and then just broke right through and just tanked. So consolidated right here a little bit to a minor midline, and the end of the day here, everything just kind of just fizzled out. So it was a really good day today, on the NQ. I hope a lot of you guys had some really nice trades in here. Let us know in the comments, and let us know where you guys took some of these trades at. Okay. Over the weekend, I was, starting to look at oil futures. I don't know how many of you really trade oil, but I really found it, moving really slow, but, all the patterns are still there for divergences. And I just want to show this chart real fast. Okay, so this is oil futures. The code for that would be CLJ 2024. The J would be the contract, I guess, for oil. The H wasn't available, but it was telling me I have to use the J in here. So right into the open, I mean, look at this, so, I really like these EMAs. Here it's just moving down, and then you can see the transition happening right in here. So right here you have, it's not a strong, I wouldn't even really call it a pullback, but it's a nice, retracement coming right in here, and even in here, and you could take this trade going up. Our signal is way down here, which is also a really nice bullish divergence. If this is at 6:30 in the morning Central Standard Time. So right at the main pivot point is where this divergence is happening. So I'm really liking that, and you can see that, and you can take this trade right up to the 200 cloud or to VWAP, or if you have a certain risk to reward that that your trading plan calls for, then by all means follow that. So right now, leading right into the New York Open right here, which is this green band. I just really wanted to see how oil was going to move, or if it, does move during this time frame, and it didn't really. I mean, it didn't move at all. It was just like slow as molasses, just, as it was happening in the London session. So, let me know if this is just kind of normal for oil, but I'm going to keep an eye on that. So right in here, overall it formed a nice head and shoulders pattern, but you also have a really nice bearish divergence right in here, and you can wait for the trading oracle signal to appear, and you can take on this trade. So, it was a really, really nice start to oil, right after the New York Open in here. So once again, what was happening in here, guys? You see that transitional stage where the EMAs twist, and now you're going into a bearish bias in here. We have, and I wrote this down here, this was also a nice hidden bearish divergence, through here. And you can really see, the sequence in here that I really like to see. You've got VWAP, you have the 200 EMA cloud, and then the color sequence of the EMAs for the short would be red, orange, and teal. So, and what happens right after we get that transitional stage in here, price makes a nice little pullback. I would say 9 out of 10 times you will see this pullback in here. So once you see the pullback, if there happens to be a trading oracle signal, by all means take it. It just depends on your sensitivity level on your indicator. But this is one way to identify a nice trade in here too. Without a signal, you're starting to really learn price action here as well. So you get that nice pullback, and it's bouncing right off of the main pivot point in here too. So that's the one other thing that I really like to see. And as price is coming up, you could take the trade on on a bearish candle. If you're getting the signal, take it on the signal, and you can take a short. So the really cool thing about this is that the sequence just stuck through, and it was a strong bearish movement in here. The bands, the EMAs, these EMA bands in here were just widely spread apart. And when they're spread out widely like this, that really lets you know that the trend is really strong. And here it is, how it played out through the rest of the day. So if you're a beginner, this would have been a really good area to test your knowledge on hidden divergences. So you would have taken like these hidden bearish divergences in here, and here's a really nice one, between this peak and this peak in here, and you want your oscillators to do the opposite, and you can see that happening right here like so. And here in this case you have a trading oracle signal, and you can take down the trade. And look at this thing. This price went right, it touched right on the major one of the major midlines right in here. So this would have been a good trade for oil. If you happen to take this went down 58 points, so it's $10 per cent in here. So this would have been $580 on this trade on one contract. So there's money to be made everywhere, and divergence patterns are on any chart. So I had this interest in oil. I'm still kind of testing it out a little bit, but it's working out. So around just right after lunch, price just consolidated. The rest of the day, nothing much happened. So this was like the major move right in here, and we had a really nice sequence. So once again, for those of you who are trading oil, I'm just curious to see what experience you're having with this, and how you're enjoying it. Okay, so I think that would be all for today. Just cutting this a little bit short right here. If you have any questions, you can leave questions in the comments, or you can leave questions on our Discord. So give our YouTube station a like, and we will see you tomorrow on the charts. Everyone have a great evening. Thank you.